Hello, ladies. Hope you can hear me fine. I will have corrections sent to you. Well, I think you have all of yours, Angelica. Remy, I will send you a private comment and let you know which numbers on which lessons you need to correct, and you need to correct only those. So you'll be getting that later on today. So today we're going to start with lesson 132. As you can see up here, I wrote what it is. The first video is 132 and 133. The last video will be this one, be 2 videos. So we're going to start with lesson 132, page 496. I expect you, when you open up the video, to be ready to go. Don't be scrambling around looking for stuff, because I'm going to start teaching pretty much right away. So we are going to be talking about dividing decimal numbers by 10, 100, and 1,000. Now, we talked about that before, but now we're upping it to 100 and to 1,000. And it's just a matter of moving your decimal. So let's look in let's go ahead and read through what it says here. When we divide a number by 10, we find that the answer has the same digits, but the digits have shifted one place to the right. And it shows you right there, 340 divided by 10. Let's look at the example. It says 3.4 divided by 10. Now remember, anytime you divide or subtract, the number gets smaller. When you multiply or add, the number gets bigger. So their number's going to get smaller. So if you look at 3.4 divided by 10, that number's going to get smaller. We take 3.4 divided by 10. This number now is saying it's a whole number, 3 4/10. Now when we divide it by 10, it's now becoming smaller. So it moves over, so the answer is 0.34 when we divide by 10. You don't have to do any division. So let's look at the first practice problem. I'm going to do a couple of them with you. The important thing when you do these particular kind of problems, when you're moving the decimal over, you need to make sure I can clearly see it on your work, where the decimal is. So let's look at the first one. The first one is 22.5 divided by 10. So all we do is move the decimal over 1. So you write right down below it so I can see it. I don't want you doing this and then circling it, because then you have 2 decimals. And I want to know what the right answer is. So it should look like this on your paper. When I'm doing the YouTube videos, I want you to be doing the work as I'm doing it. I want you to show your work. Show your work on every problem you do as much as possible. Okay, so that's the first one. Let's go to B. B is 32.4 divided by 10. Again, what do? You just move it over. So we write 3.24 is your answer on that one. You see that? Now let's go to C. Make sure you can still see that. Okay, C is 2.5 divided by 100. See how many zeros we have? That's how many times you're going to move the decimal. 1, 2. So your new number is 0.025. So you have to add that 0. This is the correct answer for C. Okay, I want to do a couple of more with you. Let's look at D. You should be writing this on your paper as I do it. 32.4 divided by 100. You're going to move this over 2 spots. So down here below, I want you to write 324. That's your answer. That's how I want you to write it, so I can clearly see where you move the decimal. Let's do this one. I'm going to do E with you. This one's a little bit harder, we're going to go 2.5 divided by 1,000. So we have 1, 2, 3 spaces we're going to go over. So it's going to go 1, 2, whoops. I want you to rewrite it down below so I can see where you're putting your decimal. Okay? Now let's move on over to the next one, the next lesson. We are doing finding the average of two or more numbers. This is lesson 132. You've already done this before, so it's going to be a little bit of a reminder, okay? We're just going to take two or more numbers. We're going to average them together. I'm not going to read through the lesson. I just want you to go straight on over to practice problem A. We are on this lesson now. Practice problem A. We have 9 plus 7 plus 12 plus 12. We add all those together, and when I added those together, I got 40. Now what we do is we find how many numbers are we adding together? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we take the number 40 and find the average of these numbers added together. We're going to divide by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what do we get? 4 goes into 40 how many times? You guys should know that. 10. So that's your answer. Let's look at B. B is, we're going to add 3 plus 3, 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 5 plus 6. Now when I added those all up together, I got 20. So I'm going to divide how many into 20? How many numbers do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I divide it by 5, and if you know your times tables, you know that that answer is 4. Okay, now if you look at the rest of those practice problems, they get pretty big. The next one is 78, 84, and 87. You divide by 3. The last one is D. It's 300 plus 310. Add them together and divide by 2. All right, that's finish the practice problems on those, and then we're going to do the last lesson. I'll do that video in just a moment.